inside, the essence of me feels so youthful and so vibrant, but that wasn't being reflected in my daily life. I ride motorcycles, I go skydiving, but something that had been important to me in my youth was dance. And while I was never very good at it, I always wanted to be dancing.
Welcome to Zestful Aging Podcast, where I speak with change makers from all over the world, from every walk of life, who will inspire you to live with zest. I'm your host, Nicole Christina, and my mission is to bring you optimism about aging and help you make full use of the new opportunities that only come at this stage of life. And to find out more about this podcast, hop on over to zestfulaging.com. So here's the story that today's guest relayed to me. She was uninspired, out of shape, and longing for the younger version of herself, and she thought a hip-hop dance class would solve her issues. Valentine's Day greeted her with the flu, thousands of notifications on her Facebook account, and hundreds of messages from strangers. Her immediate assumption, she'd been hacked. But she was wrong. A random social media post made of her hip-hop dancing had gone viral. And with nothing else to do while sick in bed, she responded to over 15,000 messages and began her reinvention of herself at the age of 57. Welcome to the show, Catherine.
Oh, thank you, Nicole. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so honored because as much of a viral sensation as you are, I am your first podcast appearance. Is that still true?
It is true. This is the first podcast I've done in my entire life.
Wow. I'm very honored and excited. I'm glad that I convinced you. It took a little convincing. I remember our communications, and you were sort of like, do I really want to do this?
Well, it's interesting. This all happened so quickly that I feel like I'm tiptoeing through the tulips here. It's all wonderful and beautiful and grand, but I also feel like I'm making things up as I move along right now. So to be invited onto your podcast, I had to research you a little bit.
And what stood out to you? Uh-oh. Do I want to know?
No, well, you're my people. You're my people over 40.
I love hearing that.
I love life and really want to explore everything that's going on. And I felt like it was a really good match. So thank you.
Oh, that makes me feel very happy. So here's the thing that I was curious about is you had already been engaged in some pretty exciting activities like skydiving.
Yes.
And yet it sounds like you kind of came up to a time, you describe it as longing for the younger version of yourself, but like, how was that for you? That kind of feeling, I don't know, blah or stagnant. How did it show up for you?
It was a general malaise. It was not a depression. It was simply a sense of, I am not the young person I was. And I'm not capable at times of doing the same things that I used to be able to do. But inside, the essence of me feels so youthful and so vibrant, but that wasn't being reflected in my daily life. I ride motorcycles, I go skydiving. I'm not an adrenaline junkie, but I do really enjoy doing the things that my heart desires to do. But something that had been important to me in my youth was dance. And while I was never very good at it, I always wanted to be dancing. And I don't know why I thought that a hip hop class would solve everything. But in a way it did. In a way it did. And it took a lot of guts to show up to the class. And it was very far out of my comfort zone. It's a lot of younger people, a lot of good knees. They all have good knees. And I just look at them with envy as I put on my knee sleeves. But it moved me out of my funk. It reminded me that my limitations are mostly in my mind, and that there's workarounds and adaptations to do to fit movement to my body, and that I can go after what I really want. I can.
So you live in California, yes?
Yes, I do.
So how did this happen? Because I have people who are in that space and they're like, where does one find a class? Like, give me the practical, like you're sitting there saying, okay, I've always loved to dance. I'm going to try it even if it's a complete failure. Do you Google dance? Do you ask people? How does this work?
It was a lot of Google. So I think for the over 40 crowd who wants to get into dance, there's two things that are immediately accessible in most communities, and that's going to be jazzercise or Zumba.
Yes.
So we have both of those, which can be found at, rec centers, YMCAs. And then for also our population, there's the Silver Sneakers program.
Yes. Yep.
Now, the Silver Sneakers program, I'm not attracted to their music.
Okay.
I still feel funky.
I think we got the title, Catherine. That is the title. I still feel funky.
I do. I want to, I love the music of the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the early 90s. And I want to move and groove. Silver Sneakers wasn't quite funky enough for me. Jazzercise was more pointed toes and very lifted and kind of Jane Fonda to me. So personally, I wasn't attracted to that, although I know tons of people love it and I support that. Zumba, I did get my Zumba on. I loved it. It's got this Latin fusion, a lot of different dance modes going on.
Okay.
But once you learn the routine, you've got the routine down, and then I needed more challenge. So yes, I go to Google. And I start looking for adult dance classes. I'm in a major metropolitan Southern California area, and there aren't many. There truly aren't. So many of the fun dance classes are for kids, which is great. But for adults only, like an adult dance class, it was not much for the beginners. So maybe if I had had a history of ballet or tap or jazz, then I could come into an adult class. But as a flat out beginner, I couldn't find much. So I did eventually find it was a hip hop cardio fitness class. So not so much technique, a little more accessible. It was an all ages class. And that's where I decided to just try it. I was in the back row. I was gasping for breath.
And by the way, so our audience has a time frame. This was last year, correct?
This was last February. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
This was last February. And I just, once the blood gets going and you start moving and grooving and feeling the funk and breathing, and you're not having to jump up and down really in hip hop. It's a very grounded movement. I felt good afterwards. I didn't hurt. I felt good, and I felt challenged, and I loved the music. Oh my gosh.
You look like you are in the blissed out state. I was just with some of my women friends, and they always say, oh, who are you interviewing now? They get a real kick out. So I take out my phone, show them your Facebook, and like, what? And saying like, that woman really knows how to dance. That's not, first of all, not a beginner. Second of all, Wow. How fun. How much fun is she having? You're doing a lot of like hips. Like there's just a lot of like pelvis, and it just looks like the most fun ever.
It helps me feel sexy again, if nothing else. And also there's that freedom that comes with age where you get to that point where you don't care what other people think.
That's right.
I paid my money. I am in that class. I am going to get what I want to get out of that class. And oftentimes, in a lot of the dance videos that I have posted on social media, I'm not necessarily doing technical hip hop dancing. I'm following the mood that the instructor has set, and then I'm just dancing.
You're free form.
I'm free form. I'm having a great time. I'm probably in everyone's way, but I'm hearing that I'm inspiring other people to dance, whether it's in their kitchen or their living room or to find a class. They're like, yeah, I want to do that too. I want to feel that. I want to move that way and not be judged.
Hi, Zesties. Hey, if you're enjoying this episode, I would so appreciate if you would share with just one person, like a family member or a friend who would enjoy and benefit from Zestful Aging Podcast. Thank you so much.
How has this viral dance video changed your life?
To be honest, I have not always been a fan of social media. So it was like I was suddenly sleeping with the enemy, trying to find my way around Facebook. And I didn't even know that there's like a hidden messages section. Like people can message you, but because they're not your friend or follower, then you go to this other section and you can read these messages. And
wow.
I feel like I'm learning. I'm definitely learning a lot.
And it changes so much. I think once you think you got it, especially if you're doing any kind of advertising, forget it. They just constantly change. Yeah.
It's changing a lot. I have leapt into the deep end of the social media pool. And sometimes I honestly feel like I'm drowning. And other times I feel like I'm treading water quite nicely and everything's moving along. But what I heard when I was sick with the flu and answering all those messages and reading all of those comments was so many women around the world were like, where can I dance with you? Where do I find this in my community? How can I, will you please teach? Will you go onto YouTube? Can I buy a DVD? Can I get a CD from you? Where they want more, they want instruction. I think it's important that we see ourselves represented, having fun, getting sexy, getting funky, getting our groove on, and that an instructor is also someone that we can relate to. And I feel like a lot of the people, they want me to teach them how to do these dances. They want to see how it's done. And to me, that would be launching into an entirely different career. I have taught dance before, not this type of dance, though. I'm familiar with teaching and body mechanics, but I'm 57. Do I want to suddenly start this new career as someone who's, providing this funky fitness dance things to people? And I have to say, yes, yes, I am definitely exploring that. We're looking into YouTube channels. We want to get that. We have the channel. We just haven't posted anything yet, but we want to provide instruction so that women can have the fun, or men, doesn't matter, have fun, have a great time in their house, learn, build the confidence to maybe take classes in communities if they're available. It brings such joy. Movement brings joy.
Absolutely. And joy
really
is health promoting. People who are happy tend to live longer. So this is really important. It's not just, oh, this is fun. I mean, you're really providing some health benefits
Mm-hmm.
besides just, sort of muscle tone. So when you're doing a dance, do you sort of like think, oh, I think I'll do this, I think I'll do that? Or do you have choreography already laid out in your own mind that you're following?
I'm usually following choreography.
Okay.
So I'm following basic steps.
Okay.
And then I put my own flavor, my own spices on those steps, my own personality.
You do.
And
there's a lot of
there's a lot of hand stuff going
hands.
on. I know. Someone said it looks like I've been told in skydiving, I do that as well. I move my fingers and my hands a lot. So that's something I'm not even really aware of until I saw the videos. But I am following choreography, and I think that's great for everyone to start with basic steps, basic choreography.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you become comfortable with it, that's when you start inserting your own jump and jive, and just do what feels good and have fun with it. It's mental health as well. I mean, it just getting those endorphins going, breathing, feeling good. And then the music, music is a great, great uplifting sensation to have around. So
I'm a big fan of the rebounder. Do you remember back in the day? It's sort of always been sort of a kind of a marginalized way to exercise. It's a mini trampoline.
Yes.
And I just love it because I put music on and I'm having my own dance party. And I'm always wondering if people are like driving by, do they see me, rocking out by myself? But it's such a mood changer. And to me, it's just so fun that there's nothing about it that feels like, well, I better check that off my list, exercise and drink water. It just feels good.
It does feel good. And sometimes it's nice to have a form of exercise that's integrated into your life that feels good rather than a task that needs to be done. I know lots of people have their walking partners, and yes, they're getting great exercise, but it doesn't feel like it. You're just out there with your walking partners, or you're taking care of animals. Pets are wonderful to have for getting you out and about.
Well, that is one thing we have in common. Do you want to talk about how you've invited your dogs into your video?
Yeah, so we have one dog in particular that has made two very special appearances in videos. In one of the videos, I'm dancing with my younger brother. He's 55, and the dog came in and was trying to bite him the whole time. And well, we just left it in. Just leave the dog biting my brother. And then I was doing a line dance video, and he was just doing little beelines back and forth from the patio to the couch, to the patio to the couch. And at one point, I'm trying to do the choreography. I have to keep looking behind me to make sure I'm not going to step on him. So that's Jackie Chi, an adorable Jack Russell Chihuahua, he just turned 2 and he was rescued from a junkyard. And we also have another Chihuahua mix named Farrah Posset. And I know, Farrah Posset. Yes, I did do that. And she's very timid and very shy. I highly doubt she will show up in a video unless I pick her up and dance with her. And she would probably like that.
I hear a whole niche opening up for you. Hip hop with your dog.
Hip hop with dogs. The smaller, the better.
It's funny because whenever I post things, I'll think they're, important or relevant. And people are like, yeah, that's nice. Boy, you get the dog in there doing something. That's when it takes off.
Yeah, I love dogs. For me to have 2 dogs to take care of every day just brings so much joy. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I really do. And I'm glad they made it in the videos. I mean, why not? They're fun.
Absolutely. So for people who may not go the route you've gone, which is, dancing, you already had some skill at it. But I have people in my practice who really are just feeling at such a loss, and that, they're about to retire. Their kids have left the nest. They may or may not be interested in staying in their partnership. And they're just feeling that I love the words you use, the malaise, the general malaise, like, really? Is this how I'm going to spend the next third of my life? What else is there? How can you help us with pushing ourselves into something that's uncomfortable and like, oh, I'm going to look really dumb next to those 20-year-olds. I'm going to embarrass myself. How do we work with that?
Well, as an instructor once said to me, who cares? Really, who cares? And have fun. So who cares what you're doing? No one cares. Those young people are not looking at you. They're looking at themselves in the mirror. They're all worried about their belly and their, all their jiggly bits. They're not looking at yours. So I say, find your passion, whether it's something old or new, because your only limit is yourself right now. And to really just pay attention to you, stay in your lane. Don't worry what everyone else is thinking or saying. Okay. Follow that passion to wherever it may lead. Because, heck, maybe that wasn't what you wanted to do. Go try something else. I don't know. But this kind of act 3 of life, this third stage, on one hand, it seems really short because you can see the end. Like if you look at from birth to 30 years, well, my God, that's huge. That's so long. That's such a lifetime. And then you look from 30 to 60 years and you're like, oh, that seems a little shorter. And then 60 to 90, you're like, oh, that's just a tiny amount of time. I mean, it's still 30 years. But we start to engage in that timeline differently. And I think that there's a sense of there's not as much time to do the things that we may have wanted to do. And that may be true, but that's also, I think, an excuse. If not now, when? Because the timeline is not getting any longer. Let's go ahead and do the things that bring us joy and find them and try it. And who cares what anyone thinks? Have fun.
And I think there's the sense of like, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable.
Yes, it is. I was uncomfortable. Oh my gosh, I really struggled over even what to wear.
Okay.
I just, what does one wear to a hip hop class? I have no idea. And I had to just stop thinking about it and think, all right, well, what do I need to wear to feel comfortable?
Okay.
And so I wore what I wanted to wear, and that included a tank top. And I've got the jiggliest arms of anyone on the planet. Who cares? Wear the damn tank top. Be comfortable. Do what feels right. Wear the supportive shoes, whatever you need to do. I wear knee braces. I have special shoes that I wear. Everyone else is wearing their hip hop tennis shoes and more baggy clothing. That's not me. I have my special shoes. I have my knee sleeves on. I have the clothing that's comfortable for me because I know I'm going to be sweating. And you just go for it. You just go for it. And I don't worry about what the others think because they're actually not paying any attention to me.
And it would be really sad to not do something so spectacular. This turned out to be life-changing because you were afraid people are going to say, oh, she's got jiggly arms.
Yes. How silly. How silly of me, because that was all in my head. That's all 100% in my head. And it doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
So what's it like now? And really the sense, of course, is you're on the cusp of even more exposure, more people seeing you and following you. What's it like to be a role model?
Oh, I'd never even thought of it that way, Nicole. That's funny. Well, I hope I do everyone proud. I hope I'm a good role model. I feel like the world needs more role models of men and women over the age of 50, over the age of 55, who are moving and grooving and succeeding and thriving and loving life. And I feel like I'm one of those people, and I hope I can help spread that joy and give anyone who looks at one of my videos, well, she's doing it, you can do it too. If I can do it, anyone can do it. You just have to adapt whatever's happening to your own body. That's all.
It's funny when I see you dance, it reminds me of the feeling when I'm playing tennis with my friends. I'll often think to myself, there is no place I'd rather be right now.
Doesn't that feel good when you're in the moment?
In that moment, saying like, am I the luckiest girl in the world? I'll often think that. Yeah.
I'm so glad that you found that. And I hope that more people find their tribe, find the thing that puts them in the zone where they feel so fortunate to be there and to want to continue. And that really does answer the question of, how do you get out of that malaise? How do you get out of that feeling of, is this it? Because if you stay there, then yeah, that's it. So you've got to step out and start looking for the other things that bring joy.
And I think the other thing you're doing, although I don't know if you would call it this, the scholars do, is that you're really challenging the ageism, the whole thing, that whole narrative of decline and decrepitude. You're saying, actually, no. And I don't know why I never bought into that necessarily. I mean, both of my parents were active. I do know where that came from. I have to give all of the credit to my younger brother for that, because as he has aged, he has reinvented himself continuously. I mean, he's this gorgeous model in his 50s, and his body is in its prime in his 50s. And he started taking some dance classes before I was too afraid, and he started taking some. And so I was like, well, you can't let your little brother show you up on everything, especially now. Come on. So, and I'm always kind of fighting that, because I'm the skydiver, I'm the motorcyclist. Isn't that enough? No, it's not enough. Now I must go after what my little brother's doing. But between the two of us, we really don't talk about age that much. We talk about possibilities. What's next? What can we do now? The world is completely open to us. There's no expectations holding us back. And actually, when you're older, you're a little bit invisible. So kind of people get out of your way even. So we're just looking at you're using
can we do?
That's your advantage.
Heck yeah. If you're not going to pay attention to me, then fine, you're going to miss out, because I'm going to go over here and do something extraordinary.
Yeah. Yes. So, and you certainly have, Catherine. It has been such a pleasure to, and I think it was just a random Facebook that I saw you. I thought, oh my goodness, this woman is just shimmering.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
So where can people, first of all, find your funky videos? Where would you like to send them to learn more about you?
The place right now where people can see the most is on Facebook, and it's Catherine Diane, Catherine with a C, and Diane, all one word.
Okay.
And so Facebook's really going to give you an idea of who I am and what I'm about. There's also Instagram. Same thing, Catherine Diane Official.
Okay.
So don't confuse me with all the other Catherine Dianes, right?
Okay.
They're all lovely, but I'm the official.
Okay.
And then, and
Good to know.
beyond that, we are having the YouTube channel, should be getting up and running before summer. My goal is June to have not only instructional dance videos, but also just fun dance along videos, as well as other exercise type activities that aren't boring. We've got to have fun while we're doing it. And that channel is called Funk It Up Fitness.
Okay.
So Funk It Up Fitness with Catherine Diane, and that'll be on YouTube.
Okay.
And I want this to be accessible to everyone.
And you're working on a website, as I recall.
Yes, and we are going to work on a website again. Okay. That'll be Funk It Up Fitness as well.
So exciting. And it just sounds like, as you said, like it's like the world is your oyster. You found it, and now you just have to do the details, right?
Yes. I have a lot of work ahead of me, which is I wasn't expecting to move into another career at this point, but I feel like, why not give it a shot? Give it a try.
I have this new acronym I've been walking around with, WTHN, which is why the hell not?
Why the hell not?
Exactly.
Why not?
Yep. That's what I'm saying. So thank you so much for joining. And it was so fun to actually speak with you. And I wish you continued success. And I can't wait to see what comes of this.
I really appreciate you having me on your show, Nicole. It's been a pleasure. I'm glad you found me. I hope more people can, and that together we can just keep on moving and grooving.
Thank you so much for joining us on Zestful Aging. If you like the podcast, please share it with some of your friends. Our theme song is All I Did Was Wait for You by Kjartan Abel. Visit Kjartan-Abel, that's KJARTAN-Abel, ABEL.com to hear more of Kjartan's work. And our technical director is Stephen Litweiler.
Hello, Zesties. Well, many of you know that I've been a psychotherapist for more than 30 years, and I'm an expert in healthy aging. But what you might not know is that I'm also a midlife coach, and I help women like you clarify and design the life you want to live in your second half. A life that's vibrant and feels uniquely like you. Maybe you've spent your entire life caring for others in one way or another, and you're a bit stuck with how to move forward in this new phase of your life. Or maybe you're considering a career change or other big life transition. Or maybe you're in the middle of a life change you didn't see coming. You may be asking yourself questions like, who am I now? And how do I build a new kind of life for myself? Or how do I make the most of the time I have left? This stage in our lives is the perfect time to pause, recalibrate, and reassess where our life is heading and ask ourselves what deserves our precious time. Now is the time to focus on what brings you joy and a sense of deep, calm contentment. I love helping women discover who they are in addition to being caregivers. After our sessions, you will have a clear plan for making your life more vibrant and deeply satisfying. You will feel a sense of control because you will be making choices that are perfect for you. And you will feel more confident because you will have an individualized blueprint to follow. And because you're a Zestful Aging podcast listener, I'm offering a special package deal. Contact me at zestfulaging.com right through my contact link. Time is truly precious, and there's no time to waste.
And stay tuned next week for another interview with a fascinating and inspiring guest. See you then.